For today's history video, I'd like to talk about how Thomas Jefferson stopped the colonization of America. And as with last week's history video, for an elaboration of this, read Joseph Ellis's wonderful new book, Quartet, about the writing of the Constitution. When John Jay went over to France to negotiate the peace treaty ending the American Revolution, the British signed an agreement eliminating, declaring the colonies independent and relinquishing their claim to them. But then they also threw in that the colonies controlled all the land from the Atlantic seaboard to the Mississippi River. Now, the colonists had only thought they would get possession of the 13 colonies. And while some colonies, like Virginia, said Virginia lasts all the way to the Pacific Ocean, most realists understood that they would be lucky to get the 13 colonies recognized. But the British threw in all the way to the Mississippi River. And that was an unexpected, enormous bonanza for the American colonies. Here, they basically doubled their size and contributed enormously toward making the United States a continental power. But the question arose, what do we do with this new land? And many people said they should be colonies of the United States, that the United States should take Ohio and Indiana and Minnesota and Wisconsin and not let them into the Union, but keep them as colonies in colonial status, dependent on the Union, and create an American empire centered in the 13 states, but which would extend to the colonies throughout the rest of the continent. And Thomas Jefferson said, no way. He divided the Northwest Territory, which was what that land was called, up into sections. And if you've seen the map of the U.S., it's funny, isn't it, how the line for Ohio and Indiana and Illinois are all straight lines. Well, Jefferson did that. He basically just set up a straight line grid, and he said that whenever you had a territory that had a population of 150,000 or more, it could then be admitted to the U.S. as a state, and has a state government, the right to send representatives to Congress, the right to vote for electors for president, and have all the rights of a state. And that was a crucial and radical step, because it meant that there would be no colonies within the United States. There would not be an issue of regional exploitation or of people suffering without representation, and that they could expand to the West and go to the West freely, knowing that democracy and their rights as American citizens would follow them in short order as these communities grew to a point where they could be states. Now, the Northwest Territory also prohibited slavery in those territories, and that's drawn a lot of attention, and it was a wonderful advance of Thomas Jefferson's. But almost more important, and Joseph Ellis makes this point in his book Quartet, was the decision not to permit colonies within the continental United States, but to make them all states. Thanks for watching.